And finally, 98.6 is not equal to qualified. Right? 98.6 body temperature is not equal to qualified. Now listen, as I said, I believe that recruiting is a leadership priority, not just an HR priority. But leadership, there's more to leadership than recruiting. I just spoke for Nestle down in Orlando a few weeks ago, and before I gave the talk, the HR executives wanted to talk to me to make sure I wasn't going to come in and say, hire people, if you don't like them, you whack them, you go find new people. I said, that's not the message. The message is that it's a component of leadership. Here's what I have found. Here's what I have found that ends up preventing people from dealing with poor performers. 2 reasons. Number 1 is it you or is it me? Is it you or is it me? You have somebody on your team, and they're not performing. Except the problem is, if you're honest with yourself as a leader and a coach, you haven't really performed many times. Many times. We haven't done what we're supposed to do. We haven't set goals. We haven't provided good accountability. We don't feel like we've given people the training that they need. And so we put off these decisions about dealing with people. Jay talked this morning about 28 days. 28 days. I mean, you and I, we know, right? Things stretch on months and months and months and years, and we don't deal with it. But what's interesting is I've had the opportunity, and continue to do so, to come into companies and put these kind of coaching and accountability programs in place. So we come in and do it. We set the goals. We work with the teams. We work intradepartmentally. We work with departments. We work down to individuals. We set goals. We provide accountability. We put the whole framework in place. You want to know what happens? 2 things. When you do this, your A players say, listen, here's what I want from you. I would like you to remove these 3 obstacles from my path, and then I would like you to leave me alone. And I will do it. I want to do it. Just get the obstacles out of my way. And the A players are off. And you get a payoff from these kind of programs with A players. B players, in some ways, are the people where you get the biggest payoff, because particularly when they are kind of A players in waiting, they have the basic skills, they don't have the seasoning, they don't have the experience, they don't have the maturity. They're waiting for somebody to help them get better. And they do get better. Okay, I think you can do that in 6 months. If you're really intentional about it. I think you can lay the framework and at least see how people are initially going to respond. 6 months, 9 months, outer edge. What about the C players and below? What do they do? I'm sorry? They don't do much, is what happens, right? They don't. It's Groundhog Day, over and over and over and over and over and over. And I only stress this because I've worked with enough companies to have seen this, and I've had companies where they put up with this for 3 years after the program had been implemented. Why? Because it's not their money? That's a good answer. Why else?
They blame it on you or somebody else.
Yes, but I'm sorry, go ahead. These things are all absolutely true, but I think there's actually a more fundamental systemic issue that's completely logical as to why people do not deal with poor performers, even when it's very clear they're not going to respond. They have to change somebody else. What else? They don't know how. Their couch isn't full. They don't have anybody to take their place. And most managers, again, operatively, you know how this is. We come to these kind of organizations, and maybe with the people that we really know well, we're kind of honest. We say, here's what's going on, but you kind of put your game face on, and here's how everything is good. Operatively, many of us and many of our managers think that hiring is a complete crapshoot. And it's the roll of the dice. So bad breath is better than no breath. What's the guarantee that the guy I'm going to get is going to be any better than the person that I have? I'm going to put up with it. I know that they're doing 71% of their job at a good day. I'm just going to carry the other 29. So the point is that while all these factors play in, if you have a bench, if you've got talent, if you know where to go, what it does is provides you with more courage to deal with your managers to make sure that they have more courage to say, listen, we're going to be better leaders, we're going to be better coaches, but part of this is we're going to set the bar, we're going to be clear, we're going to be direct, we're going to provide people the coaching that they need, and if they can't do it, we're going to make a move. That's it, because we have the options to turn to. This, operatively, is why recruiting is a leadership priority, not just something that resides in the HR department.